All right, so welcome back. We are on episode 2 of Sketch and Catch. Two dads, one mic. All we got is art on our mind. Ray approached us with the topic today. We're going to talk about time. And I titled it "Time as a Contract," so we're going to see where it takes us. And that'll be the topic for our art today. Me, you too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. Let me see.
We got all this right here. I think I'll go ahead and start with this number 2 because I also have an HB, which is the same. Or no, I have a HB is the same as the number 2 pencil. 2H is a light, and then you have the 6B, which is a dark. I also have another. This is medium charcoal, and this is a sketching 2H as well. And then your pen and sharpener. For those who haven't seen yet, or you're out of the loop, our first episode we just kind of went with it. We didn't actually have a topic, but I wanted to just re-show the finished product of what I had.
I don't have one today, y'all. My bad. I came pretty much not prepared today, but that's kind of just like the process, and I think keeping it raw kind of helps us put out good content for regular.
Stay fresh. Stay fresh.
But hello, Mashy. But yeah, I mean, that's all right, man. As long as we got this to sit here and sketch, I'll show the other one and make sure I post my first and second one to the page.
That we will. Yeah. Always make sure to. Yeah, you can always share since you're part of the Facebook page, My Cam Social. You can always share there. Right now, it's only me.
Hey, it's like that, man. Trust me. That's how it is on my page. Well, no, it's not. Let me stop because I got a fair amount of followers, and I appreciate all of them. So don't let me downplay nobody that took the time to follow me on the page. Thanks.
Before we start, candies for you, waters for you as well.
All right. Pop me at the candy, man. But no, I appreciate it. So wait, are we officially started, or have we been broadcasting like this on accident?
No, we're good.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on the socials here in a minute. But yes, sir, we are
okay.
live.
What's that? Okay, so wait, how does live work? Let me ask. I think this is kind of a fun conversation for being live. So, like, when you send out the notifications, do they come in as soon as they click it and come in right where we're talking?
So as soon as I hit stream and we're live, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So streaming is live.
Okay.
So as soon as I hit that stream button, it sends a notification to all the followers who allow notifications to be sent to them.
Mm-hmm.
They get it. So it's like as I was saying earlier, like I can choose what the notification is that they get.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chose that for us today. I'll probably be using as a template each time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like I have for the gaming part, I have Weeby Gaming. For Bass App, I have Bass App is live. I think I like this pen and paper rating.
Yeah, I like that. I was looking at that earlier. Yep, I do like that.
So yeah, I mean, we can always change it up. And then if you ever have any ideas, yeah, it's all for you, man. So
man, hits me every time you say that. Honestly, like I love like when things that I want to see happen.
Yeah,
and I'm involved in like I said, because I appreciated you for just being consistent on the first couple, and then like just something I've always wanted to do, and you helping me get there. And maybe this could even be a spin-off or the start of something, completely different. So, yeah, it's about to helping me grow my stage presence here, or my page presence.
Yeah. So initially, I was like, oh man, I gotta grow a following. I gotta do this and all that. I had so many aspirations for wanting to start the stream, but what I really came down to was the fact that my placement in this life and this time is to help others. That's what I genuinely do. Like if I can't do anything else, I'm always gonna help people. And I was talking to some people before about being comfortable about opening up on who I am and what I have to offer in this life. I used to be very embarrassed. Still kind of am, but I'm a lot better with talking about myself. Because I used to feel like I was bragging or boasting or just like
every
I don't
time.
know. It would always make me feel weird when
Every
people would be
time.
like, "Oh, so tell me about yourself." I'm like, I'm a guy.
I'm alright. Yeah. I actually feel that 100%.
But I had to earn that courage and the and grasp that honesty within myself to be like, you help people, you're genuine about it, and I mean, it's within me. Like whenever I know I can, whenever I have the tools to do so, I'll do my best.
So let me ask you, what is your what would you say? Like you say, you feel like you're here to help people. What is your best way to help people? Like, is there a certain lane that you like to stick in with helping people? Like, is there some things you stay away from when helping people?
Good question. That was awesome. So, yeah, because I've struggled with this quite often. Because I would try to put myself out there to try to do things that I probably shouldn't have been able, I probably shouldn't be doing. And I actually was talking about this in my last stream, I think. So to kind of go in more detail for everyone, and that next question is that I feel where I'm best at is where I am at right now. My plan B for life and a career that I came to was going to be psychiatrist.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
I was gonna say psychologist, but I don't think that's the right word.
I get them mixed up too.
It's
You
like
want to be a shrink though.
Yeah, pretty much like a therapist. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know the titles. I obviously I've never actually researched it, but like I'm very good with being able to give people advice. I'm able to like read people without even. Sometimes I don't even notice I'm doing it, but I can pick up on them. It's not even their social cues. I don't look for social cues. Like when people do it, I'm like, man, how do they? But it's easy to do it. I just don't do it. It's just I get a good feel. Like I'm very empathic to people. So
that's one of the main reasons I ain't got no friends. Like, no, for real.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah,
it is the truth because
that intuition and just that knowing how bad things can get when people are even ignorant to that understanding, it's like
it scares them.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, because people don't want you to read them. People don't expect you to read them. So when you're sitting there giving them their whole life, they're like, no, I don't like this. It's like doing magic in front of black people.
Oh, no, let me stop.
Because, you know, other, the stereotype being, you know, like with white people, they're like, oh. Well, you know, with black people, like, yo,
how? That's, well, honestly, that's because I think it's the idea of we always wonder how.
Yeah.
Like we might run, but it's still stuck in our mind. Like, how is this happening right now? We got to get to the bottom of this, but not in the Scooby-Doo way.
Right.
You know, but yeah.
And I've also I've become more comfortable with being able to be like honest and upfront about my abilities. To be an empath is such a powerful thing, and like I once hid it because it was becoming too great. Now I believe personally, just to kind of break off here, I believe personally that every human being is superhuman. We just have to unlock our abilities. Here's one thing to really consider. When it comes to sci-fi, thriller, cartoons, comic books, you have to take everything that you see with like percent of truth. And the thing about it that's so scary is that there was a life before us where superhuman abilities were common. But somewhere around it got to a point to where it was scary, which is understandable because some people might be using it for more harm than good. And I think there might also been a sense of jealousy, or just like there was maybe just like, oh, we have to eradicate anyone with superhuman abilities because that's one way that you control the masses. You get rid of anything that's more powerful than you. But with media, with the way that they're doing food and everything, it's like we're slowly becoming less of ourselves at a fast rate. I know that sounds counteractive or counterintuitive, but it'll make sense if you really think about it. Because at a point in time, it was just like a slow burn. But in the past, I want to say 100 years, it's been devastating. Like the more that we're like, we think that we are, what's the word, progressing. I mean, we're progressing as far as technology goes, but as far as our inner being, oh yeah, we're dying.
Oh man.
So back on the subject at hand, but before I do that, let me do this.
Because we could have went a long way, buddy.
um, so I feel like it's my, and I've also been feeling this a lot more lately. I feel it's my duty to be be for the people any way I can. So the best thing I can do is give advice, give that word, because word is power. It's spell casting, and that's getting very far and it's reaching, but it's like
Man, I don't think
with
so.
Bible verses, prayers, witchcraft, all that
I don't
stuff,
think
like
so.
the mantra of meditating, it's all verbal because your voice is one of the chakra.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was actually learning the different chakra points have different words like ba ra.
That's one of the videos you should.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was like, oh
Yeah,
man.
I did see
Oh
that.
man. Yep.
So,
Yep.
word is power. Word is energy, and so I think I'm able to really extend myself by giving the advice, and people don't take it at that moment, but it'll sit with them.
Yep.
So sometime in the future, when they remember it, they're going, "Oh, he was right."
Man.
And I don't look for that. I just look for people to live a better life than wherever they're at that brought them to me. One thing that I stay away from is money.
Fair.
And that's only because I've been trying to really lean away from money being something that we depend on. I know that it is. It's our currency that we work for, that we trade, we share, we earn. I think when we're really down on our lowest, we're like, and it's financial. And I understand, like, when you got an eviction notice and you've got a big family, yeah, you need the money. But a lot of times people think they're going to need money because they need to get themselves out of the situation that they put themselves in. And like, if I don't believe that you're going to change anything, me giving you this dollar amount isn't going to fix anything, because then you're just going to think I'm now a pocket that you can put your hand in. And also, I'm usually in a point in my life where I really can't give a lot of money because I too have a family. I too have stuff to do. So I think also, especially when it comes to like people who are homeless, like you drive by and like you feel the kindness in your heart saying, "Oh, here, give $1, give the change, give 5." Give them food, give them blankets for the winter time if it ever gets cold, give them clothes, like give them like the direction to some kind of shelter that they can have or a shower.
Yep.
Money is just currency that we use for exchange, but being able to give someone essentials, nourishment, I think that goes a long way. And when it comes to money, like if I have it, I'll be like, oh yeah, here you go. And if there was talk of paying me back, but okay, yeah, whatever. But if not, I usually try not to expect payment, because if I sit on it, I'm gonna get mad at that person because I haven't seen it. If I've been there, and I've also done it. I've done it to people. I'm just like, oh, man, because I feel really bad about not paying people back. I do.
Man, I do too.
But some people I haven't, and I'm just like, well.
Look, I tell you what, I hate borrowing money. I'm terrible with money. That's one of the reasons why I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I'm not a people call me crazy for this, man, but I don't care a lot for money.
I don't.
I mean, I need it, and I do want everything that I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it,
Mm-hmm.
but past that, like, I don't need extra, and I don't need to try to find a million different ways. I just need to stabilize. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that, and that comes with more so knowledge. It don't matter how much McDonald's you're buying, whatnot, or the third. Like, if you're not stable, you're not going to be in a position. Your mind's not going to be in a
Right.
You know, broke is a mindset.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like you can make. You know, matter of fact, I've made X amount more this year than I have in the last 5 years. Still broke.
Yeah.
Why is that? It's not because I don't make enough money.
Right.
At this point, it's obvious.
You're not blowing your money.
Not necessarily blowing it. Things aren't getting taken care of, but I'm still broke.
Right.
You know what I mean? I still don't have the money that some people say, oh, you should get this and this and this and that. No. Not for me. It's some things for everybody, but not, you know, I don't know. But yeah, don't ask me about no money. Good to know.
And see, you know how when we were teenagers, we would learn to call people broke because they didn't have any money. We didn't fucking have any money.
You know what?
Who were we to call someone broke?
You know what I mean?
So the term hate when we call people broke is just I hate it because there's no point in calling someone broke because you don't have any idea the situation that they're in for you to be like, oh, you broke, I get my money. It's like, well, you were given an opportunity that maybe they didn't want or they couldn't get.
And clearly, you know.
And it's
I
like
just got done getting called broke all over Facebook.
I don't think anyone's broke because if you have money to get material, then you just have more material than me. That doesn't make me broke. That just means you have more junk.
Basically.
The richest person can be the richest by just being able to live life and be in it.
Yep. Yeah, rich off 5 hours.
You don't have to be happy, but you got to understand what it means to just be alive. Go ahead and talk to the people. Let me go get the lunch ready.
Yep. Oh, yeah. We were supposed to do an intermission today, wasn't we? Excuse me, sir.
A lot sooner than I expected. Come on.
That's all right. Oh, shit, I'm so close to them. But we were speaking of time today, and I guess I get. Oh, look, my smooth jazz moment. I'm in my moment. 107.5 smooth jams. No, okay. Let me let me stop playing. But we was talking about time today, just simply because it's something that nobody's ever going to get back. And so I've been learning new ways to use my time. And one of my biggest concerns about time here lately has been creating artwork in a decent amount of time. I think I mentioned it on the last episodes, but for starters, I work hella hours. So if anybody understands, it's like the working position is if you're either gonna work or you're not gonna work. You're gonna work full time and not chase a dream and raise a family, or you're going to have a job and not take seriously and know that you got that rough road ahead of you. It is, but I can't do that because I like to spend too much. But I like the stuff that I have. Period. That's just my personality. That's where I learned to be patient with the things that I want long term. And that's just kind of what we have to deal with. Learning ourselves and understanding our personality based off of genetics, based off of nature, habits, any of it. Just what brought us to today that's stopping us to get things that we want now. So if it's some things that you lack and you sit back and you realize, or you try to understand this part about yourself, because clearly somebody else got it, you've seen that it's possible, whatever, but what's separating you? You really have to ask yourself, I had to hop off of this, oh, well, so-and-so could do it, anybody can do it. True. Very true. But did so-and-so skip these steps? Did so-and-so put in this amount of time? And one of the motivational speakers always said, like, if you can ask yourself, did I do everything that I can? And the answer is yes, full of it. Full of it, because not everybody does. It's so uncommon for people who do everything they can to get the results that they want in the time that they perceive. That's really not how life works. So if it did work for you like that, say amen for your blessings and be thankful. But tell you what, I waste a lot of time. I'm happy doing it. Honestly, I'm somewhat happy doing it just simply because I don't get it back. So I don't take it too seriously, but at the same time, in the long term mission, the focus is some time can be used as a present issue or something that you see in the future, even though technically it doesn't exist. But that's a topic for another episode. Uh, but I mean, time. Everybody has it. Everybody's got the same 24 hours. Um, thing is how you're using it. What are you doing with it? Is it lucrative? Do you need it to be lucrative? I mean, whatever it is that you want to do. You want to sit and watch Criminal Minds all day. No offense to anybody who likes the crime shows, but if you just want to sit up and watch TV all day, and then there's not enough TV in the day for you to watch it, there's something wrong. You might want to like get up and go outside and then check back TV, see if that dopamine comes back. But that's the same way what I do with my painting, so I'm not talking shit. But it does refresh your mind and everything like that. But whatever you use your time doing, it does always help to step back and do something different for a hot second. But people gotta really understand that before they dive into it. And not doing anything, not doing whatever. Have fun with that. Kind of running low. I'm good for about a 5 minutes. I'm normally a pretty quiet guy. After that, get my little spew. I'll kind of keep talking just to keep the ball rolling. Mike's clearly a much better host. I want to go live. I probably won't start live, but I do kind of want my own podcast. We just started about this becoming a little bit something of a spin-off here soon. I've got some material in my phone and on my database already that I could open up with. So hopefully that'll be something that comes into fruition here very, very soon. But there's so much going on. That's another thing. Are you using your time? Are you investing your time, or are you wasting it in long-term situations? Like, are you wasting your time at your job that you decide to work there for 5 years at, or that you need to work there for 5 years? Wasting that time. Are you wasting your time with people that are not doing things that are aligned with what your end goal is? And whatever emotional connection that you have with those people, is it healthy anymore? Is it stopping you from that? That all has to do with time, because when it's not well invested, it ends up taking away from the things that you want or need out of life. Somebody stopping you from going to the gym? Well, I'm the only person stopping me from going to the gym, by the way. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's a thing, man, and depending on how you think you want to use it is what's going to be good or bad for you. No, he's back. I can shut up now. What's up, Mike?
Yo.
I was just talking to these people about time, and what people do with our time and how it affects the things that we want out of life, if you want anything at all. There's a lot of people that don't. I kind of envy them, because then I wouldn't annoy myself with trying to get things done all the time. But I kind of like it. Keeps me going.
You know, one thing that really gets me is that we don't really take our time seriously until we know that there's a actual end date or expiration date.
I had to get rid of that going to work, because I was forever late to going to work.
Me too.
Like, I couldn't get to work on time, man. And I was like, man, that's because the only time you feel like you need to move is when you're about to be late. And it was true. It was true. Even if I was going to Walmart, I would wait until I knew I had something else to do in order to get back out the house. It's a slight sense of laziness, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of people just naturally act. operate. But definitely been there. I still do it quite often, but at the same time, I think I narrowed that one down for myself pretty good because I used to be terrible. Now I get to work early every day. So, guess I kind of boast a little bit about that.
No, that's good.
So he's just talking about like.
See, with you were talking about your improvements, your growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one because it couldn't be me. I'm still gonna be late.
Look, man.
I don't know, like it's just like wired in me to, like you said, get ready when I know it's time to get ready.
Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, brother.
Right. And with that, I don't know. It's just like something doesn't click in me for work when I'm just like, all right.
That's because it's work.
When it starts to really affect
when it's bedtime, you gonna get there on time?
Nope.
You ain't gonna get to bed on time?
I don't. I lose sleep.
You gonna get to bed on time though? Dang. On time every
Oh,
I'm not late, you're late. Oops.
mentally, I'm on time. You mentally thinking I'm late means that you're early. You decided to show up at the time you decided to show up.
I was mad about that too. Yo, man, my dad was the king of leaving us somewhere if we wasn't ready. At the house, if he was ready to go and we was dragging our feet, he just stayed home.
I get
we
that.
was old enough.
I get that. Yeah, no, I get that.
He did not waste time. I would say he's very impatient. Some people would call him very patient, but it just kind of depends on who you are to him, I guess.
Well, that's also a good tactic for discipline. It's like, I mean, you really want to go.
And he's my disciplinary, so.
You really want to go, but you over here wasting my time. Well, it's my time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, we don't figure out how important time is to us until crunch time.
And then also, death.
Scary concept. Kind of.
It is when
real,
you.
But...
So I think. Okay, so fear of the concept of death. We'll put a pin on that for a second. So when we understand that people die, you know, you get to a point where you understand people die, people live, people die, right? You're like, oh, well, I don't want to die. I guess I should really do what I got to do before that happens. But the thing is, we never know when it's going to happen.
We never know what we really got to do.
And I think, honestly, you know in the moment when it's going to happen, but you really don't know until that moment comes.
Yeah.
But
all the changes, you don't even know that you was doing right.
Right.
Until you figure out the results, and it's like, oh, dang.
And the more messed up thing is that if we're diagnosed with an illness, right? And like the doctor's like, oh, you have 3 months. Then you're like, well, I'm gonna start living my life.
That's what people want to say. But I'm one of those ignorance is bliss people, man. If it's something I missed out on, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I'm gonna start living my life like I missed out on something, because I'm gonna reflect on what's been happening. Now, if I say I got 3 months, that's not going to change the fact that I'm going to go get strippers in a boat.
Right.
I'm just not going to call that living my life because, you know, my life was strippers and boats for a while. No, I'm just kidding. I was
gonna say, I understand. I live that life.
Nah,
not boats.
The boats, no.
Not the boat.
But not for real, man. I mean, people say that, and I think it's kind of an ungrateful stance to take because of what's given to you every day.
We take life for granted.
We do.
Because everything that we come to live in and live through, we think that there could be better. But we only say that because we see how everyone else is living their life. But we don't actually know what's going on behind closed doors most of the time. When
I get that feeling, I like to think of complete misery on the other end.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, look at Will Smith. Poor brother. I mean, I don't think I should probably elaborate too far on that, but, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty big fraud of a relationship. Like, He was the first one. I still love Will Smith, man, but I know it's got to be hard. And I respect any trying brother for whatever plan they had in their head in order to get what they wanted in life.
This is one of those things where money doesn't solve everything because he is rich.
It's not about his money at
But they're
all.
going through normal people problems.
Yeah, let's look at how long Will Smith has been trying to be a normal guy. Since the Fresh Prince, you know, he was always the normal rapper. He was always looked at like the nice guy and all that kind of stuff. He's trying to carry that like throughout his whole career.
He wanted that image, but
I mean, that is his image. That's exactly who he is, right?
No.
Yes, it is. He's not nice, but he is a normal guy. He's a normal guy.
He's nicer now.
Now then, I don't know. I don't know if it was like a backstory about how bad he was back then, or
it's like from
what Tupac.
This is from what I learned, but that's opposite though, because Tupac played the bad guy, but he was really genuine. He played the bad guy because he was tired of being put in a position to where he had to think like, why is this wrong? It should be right.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he was put in a position to be the mascot for gangster rap. He wasn't.
Wait. Sorry, I was reading the text. Who was put in a position to be the mascot against rap? Tupac.
Yes.
Okay.
But by the record label, by the media, he was put in place to be the mascot of gangster rap, and he wasn't one.
But Will Smith was put in a position to be the nice guy,
and he wasn't. He let fame get to his head. He was a real asshole.
I would think. Well, here's the thing. Everybody's an asshole. Yeah. Let's get the nice guy idea out of the head. Everybody has potential to be an asshole. To quote Tupac, I think I did this last episode. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. There's no such thing as a nice guy. There is a heavy idea of guys wanting to be something that they can't accomplish based because they like this certain type of girl or whatever. Oh, I'm a nice guy. How long are you gonna be nice? Like, for real, how long are you really gonna be nice? Everybody has a breaking point. And what Will Smith failed to realize was that was a fact. You know, he pushed this idea that he wasn't this person. Set aside the fact that he's a great father, because I think his lack of fatherhood was one of those things that drove his identity issue. But I think that he, in the 90s, you know, it was that good guy. It was Uncle Luke, it was Tupac, or it was Will Smith. Let's be real.
Uncle Luke?
Pervert. Or a nasty pimp type guy. Tupac, that was a gangster. Or you was Will Smith, that was like borderline nerd dash regular guy.
Say nerd.
What was a black nerd in the 90s?
Urkel?
We didn't have no real Urkels. I mean, like somebody walking across.
We did.
I ain't never seen no real Urkels running around like that.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Not with the whole, did I do that?
Yeah.
But no, with like the geeky glasses, the actual, the fitted pants.
Okay. Let me not say nerd. Let me say square.
Was he a square?
Will Smith?
Yeah.
In comparison to all the other rappers in the game, Will Smith was the square.
Okay, if you're comparing him to rappers, okay, I get it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, his
as a genuine media icon,
no, that's completely different.
He was a class clown.
The rap game and the
So I wouldn't call him a square though. He'd be a class clown.
I'd still call him a square
because he was cool and comical. He wasn't a square. Like, he had his morals about him, but he wasn't.
You know why I give him that? Because I don't curse type of thing and all that.
He didn't curse, but he actually would, like, he had anger issues and he actually got a couple
he
fights.
Popped that reporter and all that kind of stuff. It's like,
so
but that's also proving my point.
He was a closeted.
That's also proving my point, because a lot of guys will try to push this thing to where they're nicer than they are. Some people don't. And some people want to just get some. Those are the three kind of pinnacles that we saw back then. But Will Smith tried to do this thing where, like, he glowed a different type of glow for black men, and a lot of men wanted to do that. But I feel like he had the highest pedestal to try to do that with. It didn't really work for him because he didn't really, like, with Jada is concerned. Like, I think that he wanted to give her this, but you can't really give a person that if they're resistant to it.
And the fact that she was so hung up on Tupac still, And
See,
and
you see what I mean? Now,
Willow,
how he gonna be that
Willow
nice
was
when she got
writing
hung up on
love letters
Tupac?
to this man, or not love letters, like letters as if that was her dad.
No, wait. Oh, she wrote letters to a dead man.
Yes, that's how crazy she was about Tupac after her and Will got together. They had been around with each other. They had a kid.
Nobody better say no Tupac around me.
Wait, who's older, Jaden or Willow?
Jaden. Yeah. They're not far apart, but Jaden.
So their youngest is writing letters to a man that has been gone out of a life that she's never lived.
I'm about to say,
in the same time.
I'm 7. I barely know the life.
So, okay, hold on. So, okay, I get what you're saying, but we're gonna go ahead and hop off the Smith topic again.
I told you, it's another thing we could have went for. We could have went. He's a nice guy.
And let me just go ahead and I don't know any Wellen personally. I just know what the media has portrayed and how he's portrayed himself in the media. That's all I know.
We all
Is
have
it real?
our opinions.
I don't know, but my thing is okay. So you're right. Not everyone can be a nice person, but you don't have to be nice. You just have to be respectful.
Yeah, that's fair.
No,
that's good. We went from Tom to Will Smith pretty quick, didn't we?
yeah, he took time to.
Always got time for that kind of conversation. I hate.
You know what time he has? Summertime.
Oh my god.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'm saying, like,
when it gets hot.
my man's had that long term, but he didn't see it because he was too busy trying to be something else. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man,
But
that first barbecue, that first cookout somebody has in May,
yep,
that'd be the first song to put on.
yep. It's a lot of good summer one-hit wonders. You know what? Like,
Lil Rob.
classic.
Mm.
Baby Bash wasn't necessarily a one-hit wonder, but they had
a party.
Oh, hey.
Ain't nothing like them summer nights.
yeah. Who's that other one? Baby Bash had one.
Did
Sugar, sugar, how you get so fly? Sugar, sugar, man, classic.
That was a R&B hit.
Man.
was a
Man,
nice
yeah,
night.
go ahead and take me back to the 90s. Go ahead and take me back to the 90s.
Let's see. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet.
Party on down to the SKB. Let's kick it.
Just kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was about. All right, man. So I was a big Free Willy fan coming up. That SWV, love will be right here, be right here. Oh, you might be a little young for that.
No. I know it. Because I'm mixing 2 to 3 songs right now that have the same tone and beat.
Well, you know the sample is. Can I just give you the sample?
Yeah.
Human Nature. Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Uh-oh. And you ain't no Mike fan?
I like Michael Jackson. I don't know a lot of his work, honestly. I know the radio stuff.
It's all right.
Because I was young, I didn't.
Let's say it's all right, young bro.
By the time I actually knew who he was, they were talking about he was touching kids. So I was like, oh, well, we are the world.
Are we? See, look, that was getting off track again. A story I like to tell about that song though is that's when a lot of people first started hearing Pharrell. Didn't know that. I didn't know that until a few years ago, honestly. That Pharrell was laying down beats for people like even in the early '90s.
Because he was just getting into, that was before NERD, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Teddy Riley put him on. That goes to show you how old he
Because
is.
he was doing something with the guy that he was in NERD with. Like they were, I looked at it. Yeah, I remember watching like a documentary or something. It must have been like one of the hip hop things on Netflix or something. But like they did a little touch in on NERD and like they were doing a bunch of stuff. They were doing a lot. Yeah, no, they were out
I
there
think I
for
watched the
real.
same
They were out there for
documentary he was talking
real.
about, because he was talking about how, excuse me, well, that little area of where JD and who did I say, Teddy Riley, um, honestly, Uncle Luke Nasty ass, it was all like right between Virginia.
Mhm.
I think Teddy was from don't nobody let me disrespect him when I say I think he was from Philly. Cause I don't want to. I don't want to. You get Philly people mad at you. Start playing Meek Mill. That one intro, you always hear somebody come and knock you out.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Y'all gonna let me finish?
He's from Harlem, so excuse me. But even still, that East Coast, like New Jack, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I could be wrong, but it was the history of hip hop. I believe history of rap and hip hop.
Yep, on Netflix.
Yeah, because like after I think they were after Outkast.
Who?
I-
Third?
Yeah, I think their story was
I think
after
so.
Outkast or something like that.
Man, let me tell you about Organized Noise and Goody Mob and all. That's some of my favorite stuff.
Mm.
And I didn't even realize I was listening to what people were saying underground rap back then, like 8 Ball and MJG and all them guys. UGK, I didn't know who they were until like 05, and then I go back and I was like, man, I listen to this all the time. I had no idea, but the musical pipeline, man, that's crazy back then.
I remember. So like I don't know what it was about late '90s, early 2000s rap and hip hop, but like I said before, I couldn't get with it until 50 Cent Bulletproof. Like
It took you that long?
Big Pimpin'.
Yeah.
Hated it.
It's okay, Mike. Okay.
Nelly? No.
You didn't like Nelly?
Mm-mm.
Nelly was fun,
Hot
right?
and Her? Nah.
Who's that?
Hot and Her?
Her.
Couldn't do it.
Uh,
And that song right there, wanna be a baller.
That was Josh.
Or
Big ball, smashing, making my ends. Fucking dick killer, getting high in the bit. Oh, come on.
I'd be in the car just like,
Okay, but that's another example. Texas rap. I mean, it was mainstream. That song was mainstream, but they weren't mainstream artists. And people was like bumping these
Southern
for
artists.
5, 6,
Really? Yeah.
before that even hit the radio.
Because who was first? Texas or ATL?
Man, technically Texas was Scarface. Atlanta had JD though, so it was pretty close, I would say. Well, JD might have him beat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because I know
You got
it was
crisscross
going from
down the-
New York down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, went from
Well, it flew across to the west. It kind of, because you talking about like, the west. You got Ice-T came out in like the
80-something.
mid 80s.
Uh-huh.
Scarface was around in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. JD with Crisscross was out in the 80s. So, like, it did spread, but the man, hey, you gotta put them there. You gotta put them there. That's also another example of the way people clump rap music or artists based off of what they put out. Chris Rock in comedy, same shit.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy party all the time.
Man, I forgot that was the whole thing.
Party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. Oh, time.
Time. You see, it goes. It's a circle.
It's a continual thing.
That looks backwards on the screen.
It does.
It you know.
Does it?
I mean, it's a mirror, but it's a camera. That's what it's supposed to do.
And I suck up.
But no, About Time though. Ooh, you ever seen that movie About Time? It's a movie about a time traveling guy. It's a European film. The brother from Harry Potter, George, Fred or George, one of them would starred in it. It was pretty dope. This dude could control time by stepping in the closet at a moment's time and then coming out to the moment that he was thinking of. And if you overuse it, kind of like Click, basically, but more emotional.
Oh, okay.
it wasn't exactly a comedy like Click was.
You know, I'm a huge fan of international films.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more into like the Korean films and of course Japanese, Chinese films. I'm a huge fan of martial arts films and stuff. Like from where they were before into how they are now. Like even going back in the '60s, watching the old where they had the studio set up. Like the one scene was just like one studio.
Like the scrolling stage in the back where they got the treadmills and stuff because they're running.
For the nighttime was just like dark blue backgrounds and like.
Hey man, B-budget movies are coming.
Like how far we've come in like just media and movies and production.
And like I said, I kind of like the cheap stuff again.
Yeah,
I'm a Tubi fan.
hey, ain't nothing wrong with some Tubi. Tubi has some good stuff.
Those Devin Gray movies are pretty funny. I like those. I actually went to be an extra in one of these films coming out.
For real?
Yeah, man. I was like, I'm gonna just try something. I don't know if I'm in the shot or not. The movie ain't out. But you know, I was just literally just doing something. I was free on Friday night type stuff.
Was it one of the movies that just got released here?
It's about to be.
What is it?
Seeds.
Seeds? I know there's a
Shouts out my buddy Troy.
So I've been seeing there's a couple movies coming out. One I saw was Bury Her.
By Her.
Oh, By Her, yeah, By Her.
I used to work with the guy that's gonna star in there, man. He's a pretty cool cat. Yeah, I support all the local movies because clearly Hollywood ain't acting right. And people need to kind of get away from the cinema. I'm sorry. It has to be from this place to be good.
I like seeing that we have people in this town or city coming out with movies.
Yeah, people gotta do stuff, man. I'm a strong advocate for that. Like something. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Not for real. Like, what are you doing if your kids ain't got straight A's? If your house ain't 100% clean? You're sitting in it. Otherwise, man.
You're sitting there.
You're sitting there.
You were nothing.
Boy, he got me every time. Every time. I'm just going to clean up the kitchen. Just got out there. Oh, the bathroom good? Okay, yeah. As long as I ain't got to look at this food. With a whole degree in my hand.
Oh, man. Oh, man, that commercial pissed me off.
I mean,
I wonder if that dude gets stopped in the street. Go, hey, weren't you that dude telling me to get up off my couch and do something?
If I seen him, I would recite that commercial to his face. That's the kind of energy I'm bringing.
I wonder how many people have done that to him, though.
He's sitting in front of the camera talking to me about school. But let me tell you something, Jack.
Hey, John, can you grab that thing for me? I'm kind of busy. John, you sitting there.
He's like, all right, man, I get it. He's just a regular dude. Oh, I love it. I love it. But nah, man. I mean, you are like, you don't have to be doing something that not anything like psychotic about it, but I mean, have a hobby.
Yeah.
And people don't understand the mental and spiritual bones that it has to exercise just doing things with other people.
Yeah.
I mean, prime example, I was never really talking and sketching like this. I was actually kind of losing it before just these 2 episodes because I'm kind of just in a way like, am I supposed to keep doing this? It's going to get harder. I'm going to get slower. That's why I wanted to talk about time. I don't have time anymore. Yeah. I don't have time to not collect funds. I don't have time to do it for the love. I don't have none of that in me no more.
And I was feeling the same way. Like we were talking before when we first met up. Like it's a now or never type thing.
Yeah.
Because like as the family grows, as we get older, and you know life is passing us by, because we're so focused on trying to get out of the struggle and just be stable, and then to try to hold the aspirations that we have, and also hold the hope that we can get out of this, and hold the hope that we can keep our relationships going and strong. get through the hard times, and the hope that our friends and family around us, stay alive as long as we, can want them to. Like everything as a caregiver, as a nurturer, as a provider, and just even someone who's just there for people, and someone who has artistic mindset and artistic talent. It's so hard to have, like, to look at the world the way we do, and then try to describe it to people, and they just go, "Well, figure it out."
Yeah.
Because they can sit there and lie to themselves by going home and oh, tomorrow's going to be a better day, tomorrow's going to be a better day. We're open-minded to understand that tomorrow may or may not be a better day, but
I
I'm
don't have that kind
expecting,
of control.
right, I'm expecting things to go a certain way, but we'll see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not only that, like, we can actually see through the BS that's been put in front of us. So
The conversation
instead of like going out, instead of being around a bunch of friends, instead of having like these big family nights, a lot of us who have this artistic mindset and artistic, spine, we tend to see that a lot of things just I don't know. When you see things and you kind of put it into a sense of art in your head that you want to put to like a canvas, I don't know, you just kind of get so roped into how it looks that when you can actually put it down and you see it, you're just like, dang. Even before you actually get to put it on the canvas, you're just like, man, because it opens your mind to really understand what life is really like,
Yeah. And people not wanting to get out and do one of the hardest things about COVID for me. I think was a decline already, and then all of a sudden it just, and nobody ever, that bounce back didn't have the tact that it needed to get back where it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, people don't really understand the power that's in it, man. Even family, like I'm having a hard, like, rough adjustment for me was knowing that I had to grow away from my family in order to kind of get myself in a way. Influences, like, there's no love lost by any means.
Right.
But I mean, everybody's different, and everybody has had to handle these certain situations differently, and I recognize that. And that was one thing that helped me to do that. My friends and family, everything is so different right now, but we have to be, because of the shift that the world is experiencing right now. I'm not going to sit up here and say that nobody feels different.
Right.
That'd be a bold-faced lie. But yeah, I hope one day that people start to understand. And I personally, I love the gatherings. I love the doing those get-togethers and stuff, because it, in a certain way, it'll recharge my battery.
Yeah.
But I got to get away from them about 15 minutes. But I want to see everybody. Hey, let's talk 9 minutes. Let's go, and then just make a weekend of it. But yeah, it just goes to show you can't do shit.
And
Really can't.
I like being able to be around friends and family. It's just sometimes when I get around people, more so now than before. I used to like being able to go out and be around people and everything, but like for some reason now, like when I get around people, I just kind of sit there and like get in my own head. So I have to remind myself to not be stuck. I have to be present.
I don't like to be out around among strangers.
You don't?
Not without a mission. I like to go to the mall. I don't have to have a mission to go to the mall. I just want to be out to see some stuff. I won't be social. I just like to be out. That's the weird thing about being an introvert and an extrovert. I would say we was talking about definitions last time of I don't know what I am or not. That's the crazy part about it. But I like to be out, but I don't like to talk. And for the longest, my going out was wasting time at a bar, because that's where people were, and once again, waste of time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just kind of that funny thing to where some people get enough, some people don't get enough. I don't really get the people that don't get enough. They strange to me. But, you need to leave me alone has gotten real strong.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type to leave people alone for real. Like I said, I just don't. I just said I don't talk. When you get around my family or in a comfortable situation, I won't shut up. That's why I don't talk.
Yeah.
Especially to strangers. Like until a stranger that's more comfortable talking to me, I'll talk strangers ear off, and it'll get on my nerves. You know, it's like, dang, I should never start talking to this fool. But
it's always that look that people give you, like their eyes aren't wider, but they just kind of give you that dead stare, like, yeah, no, yeah, I get it.
You agree, right? Right?
Oh yeah, no, totally, yeah. I really believe that.
Yeah. Man, yeah. Well, let me tell you something about like I was bad for a long time about telling people the truth about themselves in those moments. I'd be like, no, like you, man.
And it don't sit well.
When I was a kid, I got mad at this kid that was at the mall with me, filling a drink. I mean, he was going back there, and they had the beverage thing, and I thought it was like the worst thing he could have done. I'm scared to go to jail.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, you ain't about to get me in trouble. And another thing is, being black in America, either you're taught to be super cautious or you're not. Some people take it way more seriously, and our family takes it pretty seriously to where we have to understand where we at.
Yeah.
And I never really wanted to convey that. So like, I don't want to give people the opportunity to prove them right. You know. It sucks. I mean, I don't really want to steal necessarily, but yeah, they do look at you different when you think like that. That's all based off of somebody's ability to take my time away. Because if you do time, then you don't get time back.
Right.
So, didn't even start with that kind of mentality. My daddy is a hard ass. So I mean, hey. I don't know why I want to hear that when I get home. Like, that was literally the mentality. It was like, I could do this. I'm not scared to do this. But when I get home, dog, I'm not about to hear none of this, especially if you ain't going to be there taking it with me. Like, and sure enough, I was always the one getting the worst end of it because my dad's a hard. I thank him every day for it. Some things I do feel like weren't fair, but never get that time back with Pop. So, you know, whatever. Gotta do better with the next one, man. I mean, he didn't do a bad job at all, but he explained to me, so there's no thinking of mine, but everybody should want to do better than their parents. Yeah. But you have to point out the parents' flaws in order to do better. You have to identify it. You don't have to point it out saying you did wrong. Conversation comes up and you feel like it's on your head.
And the one thing that people have a real issue with is when you're telling someone about themselves, whether you're conscious of it or not, is they don't like to know the exact truth about themselves.
Words don't hurt as much as the truth does.
Right.
You can you can lie to me all you want, it don't matter. But if you tell me the truth about myself, I might not even show you. But when that door closes, I'm like, oh.
Even to this day, like if I get this hankering to really want to tell someone about something, I used to be really bad at it. Like I'd really lay it in on people, and I'm not making a joke out of this, but I've put people in a position to really want to end it all. And it's like having the truth to the tongue is not, it's a gift and a curse because you have to know how to use it. So like I said earlier, words are power. And, you know, like I've really hurt people's feelings. And this is not me bragging or boasting. Like I feel bad about it, but I should have spoken the truth in a different manner. But I did hurt a lot of people. I've lost trust from a lot of people because of what I would say and how I would say it. Yeah, because I would really lay it in on someone about themselves, and they're just like, you know how you've hit a nerve with someone, or you've hit checkmate when they start trying to just hit you with any piece of information they know about you, or they just like really try to verbally attack you, or they physically attack you. I've had all three happen.
Man, look. It depends on one's capacity for truth, honestly. And luckily, I got a pretty good capacity for it because I learned, man, I'm on up to anything. Like, you can literally call me anything you want. I'll own up to it. It was like, man, you fat fuck. I'm going to say, yeah, but them Twinkies made it worse every bite. Like, let's be real. I know I know I'm overweight.
Mm.
I still look good. Don't get me wrong. Somebody out here think I'm
Somebody
fat.
love it.
Got kids now. But I mean, like, if somebody can't like grasp the understanding of like this is where I put myself, you're gonna have a hard time with anybody telling you something. I remember one day, in 8th, maybe 7th grade, I think. It might have been freshman. I was on the bus. And this girl said something. It was a life or death situation on the bus, man. And oh my goodness. But girl, she said something. People like to pop off at me because I was a real angry person, you know what I mean? The kids like to get kids riled up. I didn't really get a good understanding about that, but target. But I said something. I have no idea what I said to this girl to this day. I just remember how hard she was crying. I sat in the spot right in front of her and listened to her cry. And I felt terrible after a little bit. She cried for a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah.
But it was easy. Yeah. And it's not a brag or a boast, but like literally, it's the truth. So if you ain't trying to hear nothing, like you don't know who you talking to. Now the boast is like when you do that kind of stuff, like you don't know who you about to deal with.
It's a warning.
Good luck. Because, I mean, that's how I learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I back down from a lot of fights from playing too much, you know? But
people don't take warning seriously anymore because they take it as a contest. Like, yo, you don't want these problems. I need you to leave me the hell alone. Get up out of here. Do what you gotta do. And then, man, you ain't nobody. All right.
I could have been going home, about to fail this class, and my daddy just waiting on me with the belt. You don't know. We on our way home. You better leave me alone.
I'm trying to feel something before I go home and feel the worst of it.
My last few minutes of joy. Here comes this bitch.
You know what? I'm already going to drill when I get home. Your mama
told me to tell you.
But, dude, like, no, man, that's very heavy, and people need to understand that. A lot of people walk around thinking that they can take words. You can't.
That's because that sticks and stones BS that we was taught when we was young. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Until you hear the truth.
Ruin your career.
I will ruin you. You will be ruined. See me 15 minutes later over there cracking up with the homes. You bought this upon yourself. I'm the crazy one here.
What?
Popping the candy bar just like that.
So, where the worst moments that you could put me in is being angry or being drunk. That's where I would really give it to you. And drunk me, and I don't mean like tipsy and I'm having fun or like there's a roast session going on. I'm like, I'm drunk and you probably said something stupid and now I'm like, I'm gonna make you feel stupid.
Let me hit a quick. I'm gonna have to harp on this at all because I don't want to. Before them relationship problems start building up on your head and you accidentally have one too many of them motherfuckers. That's where I learned to air it out.
Bro. You know what? I think I did too.
I will hold a grudge until I'm 6 feet under and the ground settled. I'm terrible about it. I'm working on it. But until then, I better air this out before I start talking about, you know what I mean?
So you remember how last time we were talking about anger and like you said that you could breathe it out in 15 minutes and I'm still taking about 3 hours to get over it. So with me, once I'm calmed down, it's forgotten. Unless I know it's a continual issue and I'm allowing you to like continue that habit in my life. No, like once I'm calmed down, like I'm cool.
But see, my anger comes in only after something has been addressed and it hasn't gone the way that I not even hope, but like if we never get to the resolve.
A different outcome.
Yeah, you definitely expected a different outcome. But if there's no resolve at all, because like I said, I'll admit to being wrong. But if I'm not, and you keep telling me I'm wrong, and I've aired this out to you, I've wasted my breath trying to speak to you about what, whatever the issue is. And that was a struggle for me In the original relationship with my son's mom, I was holding this in, trying not to be a jerk, but because I like the better words. That's all it was. It was like, I don't know how to put this to where that you will be comfortable with me saying it and not want to fight me.
Right.
Because I don't want to fight you when I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I did that just to work the other day. Hey, can I help you with some of the basics? I know what I'm doing. Why am I still picking up after you then? Like, for real, like, I don't say anything until it's an issue.
Yeah.
But if there's an issue and you still try to reject what I'm coming to you about, knowing I ain't talked to you, about, then hear me out.
Yeah.
Because, no, I don't care. But until I do, until it's time.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always that moment where you're just like, okay, I tried to warn you.
I did cut up my end of the deal.
You
I did my
just feel that swell in your chest. You go,
yep.
Okay.
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 She'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's just
like, that's what I have to do internally. I have to be like, okay, because I know if I don't turn around or turn away from you, I'm gonna snap.
I stopped snapping. I had to stop snapping. That's why I say I had to shut up.
Yeah.
I had to shut up. Shutting up stops me from snapping.
Because I do that. So I can't talk when I'm angry, because if I talk, it's just gonna be it's gonna be like the dam broke. There's a leak, there's a crack, there's a break, and there's a bust.
The whole ass heavy bust. Nah, I feel that, man. It's certain things, like me shutting up has saved me some pretty good time, but it's actually damaging things sometimes too, because you have to bring things up.
Yeah.
No matter if it's gonna be a fight or not, like, then you waste your time getting upset when there's really not a reason.
Yeah. I stopped caring about whether because I got to a point to where I was like, I don't want to fight. I don't want a physical fight. I don't want to argue. But like, I got to a point where I'm just like, if I learn how to say it, maybe there won't be a fight. But if there is, I'm prepared for one, because I will knock you the hell out.
Basically. What are you fighting for? I just spoke in favor of your comfort. And what you're trying to say is
the thing about me is that, like, I'm pretty confident in my ability to fight physically. So the one thing I understand is that if I get to a point where I'm super angry, everything around me is a weapon.
Dog, I am not a boxer. I'm simply 280 pounds. So you can try to fight. You're gonna go through some shit, but physically and literally, I love saying that. Yeah, I'm gonna put you through something. Physically and literally, you know what I mean? Mentally, put you through something.
I'll put you through that wall.
I'm not gonna punch you. I like my hands. I use my hands a lot. I'm not gonna punch you. I don't really like the idea of inflicting pain in that manner. Now, if I let you hit this wall, the wall did it, not me. I just led the horse to the water.
Oh, what's that word that they use in their own way against them? What's it? Redirection.
She came at me, and then I Olay. Man, you know how much you could damage a person hitting them with an Olay? You know what the Olay is? Olay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Let somebody charge you.
Because at them coming at full force, thinking they're gonna hit you.
All you gotta do is this. I used to play offensive line.
Because not only are they trying to stop themselves, they're already propelled, but then you go, yupty.
Come on if you want to. Nah, it's a way to somebody if you really want to. That's why. I mean, all the guns and all this other kind of stuff, man. The one thing, if I don't hear them, they did a good job and they got it. But if I do hear them, well, we gonna try to find out. Yeah. Also, if I gotta have a gun, I'll go ahead and, knife, bat, anything. But I don't know. It's just, huh? What you got? Bats.
Oh, bats.
Ooh. Yeah, please do. They come in the bag?
Yeah. Ceremonial.
Oh. Ooh. That blood.
It is battle ready though.
That reminds me of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Every time I see one of them, I think about Pulp Fiction, man. If you drop, may I?
You may.
Ah. You ever do the TikTok?
Because I learned that if your sword and sheath is that loose, you need to fix it.
I noticed that it was a little bit harder to just pop out like that.
Yeah, and I always forget what that part is called, but it shouldn't be loose.
Yeah.
I think what they said is that that's how. And honestly, you'll know how strong your thumb is if you get one of them.
Man, let me.
Look at the.
You can tell. I ain't know yet cruising. But
The birthday gift.
I would definitely mess with. We done got all kinds of distracted. Oh,
So yeah,
you can tell how strong your thumb is.
Yeah. Supposed to do everyone doing this whole thing like anime.
Interesting. Yeah, I might have to get one of them. It don't make no noise. I love it.
Get a pair of these.
Come on, man. I might have to get up for this one.
We'll get you one of these.
So we know who we not gonna rob, okay? I whacked myself in the head.
Get you some of these.
So you just gonna be a whole Ninja Turtle. You gonna be a one-man Ninja Turtle?
I'm the last rodent.
Okay, I had to try a little bit of helicopter.
You can also get you one of these.
I'm about to say, you got a Cali stick for real?
I got a gun up there.
Man, so for real, what's your take on guns?
So, I mean, because the video games are cool, but boy, are they scary. I finally come to terms with the actual, like, terror of guns. Because, like, I've been to the range a few times with family and friends, and I've shot them. They're cool. They're cool if you're in a controlled environment. I feel when you sit there and hold a rifle, shoot that thing off, and you after you're done, and you put it down, you're just like, you understand the power that it holds, and you understand why people out here really want guns. Me personally, I'm a close quarters guy, but I will get a rifle. So I like rifles. Like in games, I'll usually get like because I play Warzone sometimes. I'll play with assault rifle and a sniper. I don't do well yet, but I do all right. I do okay. I do okay.
I'm a terrible Call of Duty player. Like I've never been really good at video games. I'm good at a few. I love God of War. I'm not necessarily good at it, but I play through it.
God of War, so.
For as much as I play with guns, I have played with guns. I'm a terrible Call of Duty player. I think a lot of people are being foolish with guns.
Yeah.
In ways is like it's unnecessary. I think everybody should have protection and a way to eat when they need to. You know what I mean? I hunt. Well, I know I don't, but I eat game. You know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd have been rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, did all that from the sticks, man. Yeah, all that. But I think people are kind of losing it over these things. So it's hard for me to talk about it sometimes without seeming like somebody will try to catch something and say this is what you lean toward, or that's what you lean toward.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, we've become so dependent on protection that we think that a gun's gonna do it, because that's the one thing that'll steer people away. Is hearing that clack clack, or just the popping off one time. But
want it bad enough, they don't bad.
yeah, and the thing is that it's no longer about protection, because then it's like, what are you defining as protection? That's with a civilian, that's with a cop, that's with a thief, that's with anybody.
A lot of the common person is a scenario that they played in their head.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that act off of fear. Don't get me wrong. People are running up in people's houses every day, but it hasn't happened to me yet. And I like to think that the day that it does, that either I'm able to do something, or they do a good enough job and just leave. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's me and guns, I've had some scary moments. I've had some moments I shouldn't have been messing around with, but I've always been around them. You know, I got a 20 gauge shotgun. I haven't bought a pistol yet. I plan on it, but just haven't really been nothing in the books because I ain't never been held up before.
Right.
You know, I've never I don't have to worry about that where I'm at. I realized that because I like to keep myself out of situations. Don't get me wrong, nobody's exempt. But there's a good way to keep people out your shit.
Yeah.
Let's stop showing people shit.
Right. No, like for me, it's just like I said, I think they're cool, but they're very dangerous, and I honestly don't think that we need them.
I think we need them. I don't think we need people sweepers. I don't think we need automatic rifles. That's for the military.
I don't even. Well,
honestly, you shouldn't need no more than a revolver. If you can't hit them with a revolver,
yeah,
you didn't did something. Got that many people in your house that where you probably need to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever happens to you. But
my thing is, I don't even think the military needs them. Only because we shouldn't be in a position to need a military in the first place.
That would be nice to think of, but it is a lot of evil people out there,
the more that continues to go on, the more advanced these weapons will get. Why are we continuing to press for more advanced weaponry? Why? And like, here's the thing: we have 7 continents, bunch of countries. Most of these countries have their own army or military. All these continents have their own military, minus Arctic and Antarctica.
Yeah.
But you know, we have all these military all over the world, and from different countries, different backgrounds. For what?
Each other.
That's insane.
So is the world.
Yeah.
The world is an insane place,
like,
man. And
we're prepared to go to war with a country we're not beefing with at this time.
Because people's mind change. Somebody gets elected in that's just hasn't never been, blames America for whatever. Next thing you know, we're getting bombed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can happen that quick, and it sucks. But in a perfect world, it could be that. But I don't trust people enough to think that the big. Matter of fact, think about January 6th. They might have needed, you know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, that was against our own people. Of course, there was no moment where semi-automatic weapons were necessary at that moment. Well, I won't say necessary, used, because these are our own people. Don't, gun, but you don't got to get the big guns out. But it's always going to be a need for defense. As long as life is on Earth, it's going to be a need. It's the balance, literally the good with the bad, the yin and the yang. And you ain't ready, you ain't got to get ready. It sucks. I don't ever want to take a life. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to have to. I won't speak on what I will do. But
And it's
just they need it, man.
I guess you have a good point. I think if there is a means of protection, um, there shouldn't be any circulation of submachine guns, assault rifles.
Oh well, yeah. I didn't say nothing about how America went about doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, these don't work no more.
Well, no, because you were saying that only the military should have assault rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think you shouldn't have. I feel like shotguns shouldn't be necessary in the city.
Oh, you can't shoot a shotgun in the city, can you?
You can have one.
Oh. Well, I mean, but if somebody goes out to the country to hunt, where they gonna put their shotgun?
True. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
And then you can't really justify being home defense versus this is my regular thing because they just use their, they hunting rifle to defend their home.
I guess
it sucks.
It's just a weird time to be in that we have to depend on that.
I don't have to depend on it. Like to me, like
it's a dependency.
A lot of people
are
laying heavy on the idea that a gun is gonna keep them safe from anything, but I mean, just based off the people I know, they ain't gonna wake up with somebody coming in their house anyway.
If you think about it, it may not be you pulling the trigger. It may not even be you holding the gun, but you're expecting the authorities to do that.
To do what?
Show up with show up armed.
For what situation? You don't really trust
anything about anything higher than assault. Because if you're being robbed and you're being held at gunpoint, what's you holding one back gonna do?
Yeah, good point.
It's a small gunfight at best, and they leave because now, they're compromised. So a couple rounds go flying. Who gets hurt? Who knows? Until but. And then my thing is like, there's so much crime that when you call the cops, they don't show up for like 20 minutes.
Well, no, that's the issue with the police department.
Yeah.
That's the issue with people in working nowadays.
Yeah.
I wouldn't risk my life for the money that you get for being a police officer either.
Yeah. But that's why they pay so little. It's like, well, if your life's on the line, why are we paying you so much?
Because they're expendable.
The money's gonna be gone.
On somebody, they gotta pay their vacation.
They expect people to be like, oh, this is what you signed up for. Well, you're paying military a bunch of money when they go on leave on these deployments. They come back with a fat check.
They want the police to be the common folk example of what the big leagues is like.
So hear me out. In the time that we're in now, what is the difference between a gangster, a cop, and a soldier?
Yes. Well, now, a gangster and a soldier are gonna have the same kind of hold to their
brothers in arms.
Not even their brothers in arms, because I know it's a lot of disloyalty on both sides. But to their code.
Okay.
Both of those are based off of a stronger code than police officers. Don't get me wrong; they got their rules and agendas and stuff.
But they
operate in a way that breaks them more than a gangster or a military person.
Yeah.
More so, it happens everywhere. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Difference. I bet you can find a lot more positive military people than you can cops or gangbangers.
Yeah.
Just as many crazy people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's
people take it differently.
And I think, I'm big. I like the military. I respect those guys a lot. I don't respect. I think they're pretty well common people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so you're gonna get every kind of person that you can imagine.
Yeah.
But they literally go out there just with an order, and they go do what they say they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing. Gangbangers operate on chaos, and so do police.
And soldiers who are on deployment.
Only on deployment, though. They have to operate in chaos because they see a level of chaos that
But the thing is,
Even the police
if
won't
there
see it.
wasn't any issue if there wasn't a reason to be deployed, would there be a reason to have military in the first place? And
Because it's not an us thing.
I mean, in physicality, unless they're deployed, for leave or if there's something going on, that's where the chaos is. But they have to be trained for the chaos.
Yes, they do. And not everybody makes it, right?
No.
A lot of people go nuts.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though. Like, a set is going to take the crazy person.
Yeah.
The military has standards. Gangs, they operate on chaos.
The basic branches of the military want someone who's mentally stable.
Right.
There are, I want to say syndicates, but it's not syndicates, who will take the crazy. Expendables.
They say the Marines and the Army do a little bit more of the crazies.
Uh-huh.
But
because they're front line.
I think it's more so the actual program that I try to separate the police and the gangbangers from the military is because these people do their duty and they come home. They're left to face the world, however, unfortunately. But they are on a set program of things that they do in order to make it home, honest. You know what I mean? They have that end goal is to make it home. That's what the one commonality I bet you can find among most soldiers.
Here's the counter to that.
Huh.
So let's say what's a really known spot in the country that is heavily gang related?
In Chicago.
So let's say there's a normal, we'll say the term normal. Let's say there's a normal kid in Chicago trying to make his way home, but he's got to go through obstacles. There's blocks that won't let him cross because he wears a color that's against their color, right? So trying to make it home is always a struggle because, are you going to get hit with a stray? Are you going to get robbed? Are you wearing the right colors, or did you forget to take this street? Whatever that is, circumstance is. I think mentally they hold that same mindset. You're just trying to make it home. You're trying to make it to where you're going. You're trying to live a day to day. Just trying to survive until you can get out.
People in the military choose. They choose that. Thing is like I said, they're putting this program that's developed by some higher power. Well, I mean the ghetto is too, but we won't go that deep on that subject.
Not yet.
But these people chose to enlist and get paid to do all this.
Yeah.
And then they come home. Now little Timmy, who is wearing Crip colors in the blood area, is not up for the next Darwin Award. Clearly.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that he shouldn't. Not saying that he should just adhere to what they say, but if you want to make it out, you have to kind of play the game. Period.
Yeah.
But that's his circumstances, and I think that's more so what you're speaking on as far as the situation that he's
Would you consider that a choice, though?
To wear red, to wear blue in the red area?
To adhere to the circumstance. Because
it's choosing to stay out of the way.
Yeah.
It's choosing to stay out of the way. That don't mean you have to wear blue. Go ahead and wear purple. Go ahead and wear pink if it means it's gonna, keep your life about you. I went against the grain in the same way. Like I won't even sit up here and speak like I was getting threatened on my way home. No. Has anybody asked me if I bang? Yes. A lot of the times, yes. But I don't. And then I turn into somebody that's wearing a pink shirt in a red area. You know what I mean? I'm just different.
Yeah.
And that's the choice that you make on that note. But if you have to grow up in that area, you gotta have to play the game a little bit.
Yeah. Now the surface of understanding military, it's like, oh well, they made the choice, right? But then once they get in, the choice that they made doesn't really coincide with what they're doing. And of course, they also have to play the game as well, because depending on where you're at in the point of time, whatever's going on in the world, there could be more going on, there could be less. But there's some things that you may or may not. You have a mom downstairs who can put that on. Go have her put it on. You know how to put it on. What are you doing? There you may be given an order that you're like, that's not humane, that's not moral, and they're like, you signed up for, so do it. It's kind of like, oh, you know what's a good relative story? Is that back in the I want to say 40s and 50s, when the Black American was, trying just to be an equal in the world, their racism was heavily implemented by the whites. But there was a lot of things happening in a certain part of the world. I can't remember where. You might be able to help me out.
40s and 50s?
Yeah. So
in the world outside of America?
No. In America. So
Great migration?
No. It's a black versus white thing. So like, blacks are trying to be equal because they now have equality.
Yeah, that's the start of the civil rights era.
Right, but there's a specific time where the start of the Crips happened, because there was a walkway where school kids were coming to and from where they were.
That's the 70s.
I thought that started in the 50s. Was it 70s?
And a lot of the stop sign thing you gotta remember was also the Black Panthers. Crips being low key a spinoff, but not really.
So I heard that. I mean, there was one specific guy who started the Crips.
Tukey.
Yeah, it was Tukey who he started the Crips, but there was actually and it may not even been the Crips, but there was a gang label that was before the time of Black Panthers and Crips were started, and I believe it was in the 50s. They started because the black children were being bullied, beaten, kidnapped, and killed to and from school. So in order to combat that, there was a group started that would fight off any whites that were doing wrong to black children, trying to get to and from school.
Was it the acronym that turned into Crips?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of gang history.
Yeah.
I know, well, I actually kind of correlated this in my mind a few days ago, just thinking. Y'all know black people didn't really invent gang culture.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know. That's one thing I always think about, is that we were never the ones invented.
Yeah, like, yes, we brown. Oh, so what, you light skinned today?
No chocolate always, baby.
But nah, like, after Al Capone got arrested, what happened to the government?
I remember hearing about it. What did happen?
They turned into gangsters. That situation was adopted, and not the situation, but the blueprint. It was adopted by the government, basically. And you got, like, I think about the movie The Warriors, and how old that was set in. There was no Crips and Bloods back then.
No,
this was New York. Gang culture has been around since organized crime in the 20s.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just how did we even get here?
It is time.
Man, it got us just where we need to be.
We're going back in time.
But I mean, I think more so a lot of it is placing the enemy type of thing, or instilling the fear.
Throwing the rock and hiding your hand.
Basically.
So I know for a fact that, what I used to sit and think, like, how are people scared of gang violence from blacks when you have the mafia, you have the cartel, you had Yakuza, you had Triad, still, like, everything has been known around the world, and even in our country through time. Thug life has been a thing, but now there's a fear because the media made it a huge deal that black people were gang members.
Well, now what is the media feeding us outside of gangs? So we all know gangs are a thing, right?
Yeah.
Is there a lot more fear mongering gangs? No.
No, not anymore.
No, not like it was in the 90s. Now, for a second, it was Hispanic and Latinos with the Wallace situation. You know,
Yeah.
they're trying to take our jobs and all this other kind of stuff. Y'all didn't want them back there. They took our jobs. But everybody wants something to be afraid of. Everybody wants that conversation to have with like, oh
Dude,
yeah,
that's why I posted on my page sometime last week. You ever notice that every time there's a unification of people, either in the country or around the world, there's always something that divides us right around the corner. Right around the corner.
No coincidence.
No, I'm saying that for people who don't get it. Like people who are just like, no, that's a coincidence. Like, no, every time there's unity to be had, there's always something that divides us. So when gangs became a huge thing, it's because of gangster rap. Hit the media, so like, oh, y'all like this music? Well, gangbangers are wrong. They go and rob and kill people, and they're
Beat your wives,
yeah,
rape your daughters, and
man, I didn't actually really think about that.
yeah.
But
You need something to fear, man.
What was anyone saying about the mafia and all that stuff?
Well, the mafia is not a thing anymore.
What's what the mob, the mafia?
The mob is not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Not to be scared of. We won't talk about it no more because most of the politicians that pay us to run this news are run by the mafia.
What, like, there was one big president or something in particular who was like, who had ties in with the mob or the mafia or whatever.
Probably Nixon.
I feel like that's correct. It's one of them. I don't know.
It might have messed around and been Kennedy.
I think it was. Because he had, and then, of course, it'd be Kennedy that they say it about.
Right.
Because he also was, had a mix in with, what's her name?
Marilyn Monroe.
Uh-huh. Happy birthday, Mr.
Get off of me. Get off of me. Man, I seen, a little off topic, I seen this video of what somebody would do if Usher tried to steal Keke Palmer from them. It was a dude that was in handcuffs. He was getting sentenced. And he was attacking somebody, and he was like this, and he must have threw that elbow real hard.
I saw that video. I didn't see the meme sequence that you're talking about, but I saw that. No, the dude, he was a prisoner,
As soon as
and he
Usher
told
started
his
singing.
attorney to get in closer, and then he went. And dude got hit and dropped like a bag of potatoes. 2 seconds later, the cops like, I was like, damn.
Basically. But,
He had one good elbow. He was like, oh, y'all, you didn't do your job. I'm in this for life. Better come here, let me tell you something. I just want to.
who can... Oh, goodness. Nah, it'd be like that, man. I don't know. I kind of forgot where we went off at, but...
we were just
organized
talking
crime and
about
presidents and shit.
like how the media blasts gang violence and violence in general, and then they label it to a certain people.
Yeah. Watching CNN and what are they feeding them? Who's watching NBC and what are they feeding them?
Mm-hmm.
Same type of fear. They want us to fear each other. It's quite apparent.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the news, because they're always talking about how there was some kind of attack and a cop got suspended, they don't. The news report doesn't ever really say that it was a brutality case.
No.
They say that there was an issue where a man was beaten by a cop, but we don't know if it was out of code or not, something like that, you know. But they don't ever say that it was a police brutality case. It's always the news journalists who say that it's police brutality because they're like, oh well, you know, judging with all the evidence that we have.
That's some keywords that they want to use to get viewers.
Yeah.
Too, especially since you can use a hashtag now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all that is. But that's what works for us, man. And back then, like it was even a thing back then. It's been going on for centuries,
Yeah,
I believe, because
it's worse now.
No, it's just the degree's been separated. That's what makes it worse. It's like not separated. I'm sorry, it's been contracted.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be 7 degrees of separation or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's 5 and declining.
Because it doesn't take that much.
We got the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So when X amount of people are excuse me, I love Twix.
You're good. I knew you would like them. That's why I made you put them in there.
My favorite.
Someone told me you were a Twix guy.
But everybody's accessible to one another now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could look up somebody in Japan and see what they're talking about.
Right.
You couldn't do that back then.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things that's making it so easy. And oh, this person shares my opinion, and this and this and that and the third. I can't be wrong.
Right.
Just driving that. But I mean, there's such thing as a herd of sheep. I just, and not sheep as in being led blindly. I'm just saying, like you're never as alone in this world as you think. You really need to understand that in order to keep on track. Because going about 15.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, people have really got to understand that, like, if you're not believing what you want to believe, if you're getting all your sources from this thing, it's like you in trouble in 2023. You in trouble. But what you working on over there?
Kind of give an idea of what's going to be finished here soon. I'm trying to really get down this vagina-looking flower in the middle. But so yeah, the sands of time are crumbling.
Ooh.
And I put a flower there in the middle because I want it to look like, not only is time gone, but so is life. So there's going to be rose petals and or flower leaves and flower petals, also crumbling with the sand. So the clock here actually turns into crumbling sand, but you can see some of the glass is falling here too. I'll show the viewers what we got going on. That's a rough estimate of what it looks like, and next week or two it'll be finished. Put too much detail in my art.
So if I can take this last few minutes, since I gotta go to work here in a little bit, and ask you about one of the main reasons why I spoke about time. And I think we did touch on this last week, but it is something that's heavy on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a certain amount of time on a project.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm expected to do a painting in a month. I feel like that's actually reasonable if somebody's not doing as much as I am, actually. It's made my business suffer, which is the reason why it's bothering me so much. The little bit that I did get, either somebody kind of cancels because it's taking too long, even though I will mention that before I even put brush to canvas. I won't tell you that I'm going to do it in this amount of time unless you really, really, really need it, or I really, really, really want to do it.
Yeah.
But I do that simply because I work 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
/ I taking care of kids, got a pregnant girlfriend, all this other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When do I give myself the credit for doing all of that if I'm not doing any decent artwork? You know what I mean?
Do you plan on getting paid for the art that you can provide?
Not enough that's going to stop me from doing whatever I'm doing to get paid that way.
Can you balance the compensation?
What do you mean?
So let's say if you really calculate how much money you make in a day, and how long it'll take you to, let's say it's a painting. If you calculate how much you make in a day, and then you judge that by calculating what you see on your paychecks for bi-weekly pay, right? Can you remove one day work and give that to painting?
Only if I don't tell nobody I ain't working. Because I'm the type of person also, and I'm glad you asked that question because I can vocalize it. Somebody needs help doing something, I'm there. I'm always like, and it's not a complaint. Sisters, I got girlfriends. Sometimes things just need to be done. But my phone does ring like that. It goes, hey, can I da-da-da-da-da-da? It's just another thing on the plate. So even if I ain't got to do it that day, it still adds a little bit of weight or stress, or I have to think about that now, even though I was just off in this painting,
So I was in your position. And a lot of people meet new. that I would run myself ragged because I was the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
I was a phone call away from my family.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me, but I'm gonna tell you if I can or not. What you have to do is understand is that give yourself, like, look where I'm at now. You see how I had the kids downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I try to give her as much sleep as I could.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to be up. Where she has a house showing later on today anyway. But
Hey,
look, I've had to really solidify myself. I had to be firm with my friends and family for myself. If I want to get anywhere with what I can produce, I have to earn that by giving myself that time. So why I asked you is that the money that you could make off of a piece going to be equivalent to the one day that you could take out of work each.
I think I got a little bit too much debt for that right now. Honestly.
So here's the thing.
But
You'll find a way to get where you want, but you will constantly be in the way of yourself by making excuses such as my family needs me. They're outside of the ones that you've already created. My friends need me, or I have to be at work. I know, and trust me, I understand. Work is essential because, like, yes, you need to pay the bills. Yes, you have to feed you and your family. You have to be sheltered, clothed, all that stuff. Like, all the essentials of living and survival are very, very important. But start removing the factors that you allow excuses to start sliding in. I had to do this myself. First, I had to stop letting my family be the reason why I'm away from what I'm doing. Like, when I first started, like, it was a small thing that my dad wanted, but like when he came over and I wasn't available to him that I normally am. Mike's always doing something. Like, well, I am now.
Yeah.
Because I need to be. Like we were saying, this is a now or never. So it can't be now or never if you're still letting things get in the way.
And let me just say, I love this. Like, for real, it don't matter. Like, it's nice to have the peace thing, but like, this makes it so natural that like, this is literally,
my kids are around here.
yeah, like, this is literally what we have to do. I've been dealing with the same thing at home, and I'm the one. I'm just gonna come up here to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you got 3 of them, so I can't justify. I only got 1, but and it's the thing that if people could see how natural it was, there's always a decent facade on social media, like people are living the life they want to live.
Can you get them out of this?
Sorry. No, that's cool. Like, it's a facade that people are seeing people live the life that they think they want to live, but this is what it really looks like.
What it is.
This is what it is.
This is why, like, when this happens, I don't really care. Like, I think the reason why I tend to turn away and tell them, like, to go or move, because I try to keep focus. But, like, really living as a streaming dad, as an artistic father, parent and partner, this is what it looks like. Like, I just had to give a message to my wife, trying to tell my kids to get the hell out. But this is what it looks like. Like, it's constant busyness behind and behind everything. Like, the busy lifestyle doesn't stop being busy.
No.
So you have to change what you're busy with. You said that you love this, and I tell you, I do this for you because I want you to understand you can get this. You can do this all on your own one day. I love doing this with you, I really do. But I see that you want to, at one point in time, be able to do this from your own home. This will also kind of go hand in hand with being able to promote yourself with your art. Take it from me. Start weeding out things that really don't need your attention. If you have family that is really about you, that support you, that you love, and will always just be there for you, they'll have to understand what it means to support you instead of being supported by you. For once, though, and I'm not saying that they've never supported you and vice versa, but like, it seems like you've given a lot of yourself for them. It's about time they give themselves to you, and it's giving you a break.
That's fair. I will say that about any of my family except my dad.
Yeah.
He was out in 100-degree weather at 60-some odd years old, helping me get my truck fixed. In fact, helping me fix my truck. That's another thing. Like,
it looks like you've become a second version of him.
Absolutely.
So
I'm not really mad about that, but at the same time,
you have to understand to give yourself time that he wasn't able to. I don't know if he was or not, but like, it seems like he was a very busy man.
He works second shift, just like I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was busy in the way of this is what he had to do. This was you know.
And you know how last episode you were telling him, this is what Sean was like, hey, write that down. I remember what it was.
What was it?
You were telling him that all the tools that he gave you to be successful, you're not going to let him down.
Oh yeah, no.
Something like that. Something along the lines of that. Like you weren't going to mess it up or something like that. But
Yeah.
the way that you do that is that you show him that you can still be the man that he wants you to be while also being your own man, an artistic man.
Mm-hmm.
So you can provide for your family. You can take care of yourself, but you can also take time away to draw, to paint,
Yeah,
to podcast.
well, I mean, I
Go downstairs.
I go
Be
with
down in a minute.
my son. He paints with me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, man. I mean, like literally, if I'm, because I know the zone I get into, and I don't want to get angry at my son or nothing like that. So, hey man, you want to paint? Look, put some on the palette,
Yeah.
and let him go ham, and that buys me 20 minutes or so until he gets distracted.
That's a good 20 minutes.
But then I start to get comfortable with the Mario movie
Yeah.
and the marathons, and then I'm like, dang, we haven't spent no time together, so now we got to go outside.
Yeah.
And all this other kind of stuff. So it's all getting used to that.
Oh yeah.
And but you're absolutely right. Like I've made excuses, and I have been the king of excuses.
Dude, same here.
But at the same time, I'm realizing what those excuses are doing for me for real, and what they're not doing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time to readjust because I still really want this as bad as the day I walked across the stage at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But there literally has to be a reapproach.
So one thing that helped me is because I started to feel guilty because I was starting to tell my family no, or I was like, I had to give my child some alone time.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is that you're not telling them no forever. It's like, hey, I got some things I want to complete, and I'm going to complete them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't today. And,
I mean, this is so we can go to Disney World type stuff,
And here's the thing. Whenever people need your help, you're the first to call. That doesn't mean they're out of options. You're just no longer the first option.
That's a fact, Chad.
With your kid. Look, man, kids are kids. If they're anything like how we were raised, we're rambunctious. We're going to want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Your child doesn't need 24/7 attention.
And I'm bad about it, too. But I think the reason why I'm so bad about it is because I want him to be active. And the active lifestyle is
You have to teach him to be
very
active.
hard to maintain when you don't have an active life.
So with my kids, it's either go play with toys, play in the room, or we'll get out and go do something if it's not too hot. But like I've been trying to do better with keeping them off the TV, keeping them off the screens,
that's my
because
thing.
they start to develop this attitude, this sense of entitlement that they can get it because it's there for them to have. So you're doing a wonderful job as a person, as a family member, and as a parent.
Thank you.
You keep it up, but you can do with more for yourself, and you'll get there.
I appreciate
it takes time to really get comfortable with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to get the routine down, but once you get it down, you're gonna be like, damn, I should have did this a long time ago. But that's the thing about parenting. Everything takes time. Every day is a lesson learned. There's no such thing as a perfect parent, ever. So as you're learning, everyone else is learning around you, because what you're learning, what you're applying to yourself, it's showing all your peers like, damn, he's taking this shit seriously. Mm-hmm. So okay, we'll respect it, and they can even start implementing those lessons into themselves. You are the tree of life, so to speak, of knowledge, wisdom. You don't understand that you're giving life and energy to the next thing. The thing next to you, just like a tree probably doesn't understand that it's giving life to human beings for oxygen, but it's rooted to the ground, and it knows that even though it loses its leaves in the winter, it comes back in the spring. So we have our high times, we have our low times, but we're always going to bounce back to continue to give. You have to understand that you're giving physically, but what you can give is also in your art. You have the hand, the eye, and the talent to be able to put a piece together for someone to go, dang, like you are able to bring the emotions out of people with just what you can put on the canvas alone.
That's a goal of mine. I ain't never even told you, so I appreciate you.
So, with that being said, these, I'm gonna say little, but they're not little. But right now, the little pieces that you can make for some little money will get bigger over time. You have to start somewhere.
Piece.
$20 can turn into 40, 40 will turn into 100, 100 will turn into 500. And someone is always willing to buy. As long as you put your heart into it and you just keep going. Put your heart into it, put it on display, say, hey, this is for this much, and you just let it sit there.
I have a hard time like keeping my price. So I won't. We can't go in on that because I gotta go like now. But,
Yeah.
But you know, I appreciate the hell out of you saying that because like I said, sometimes a brother need a little bit of push up. But I feel like the people I've even been around in the art world lately have tried to tell me this, and it's just like no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I'm trying to beat that door down, and it feels like it's giving a little give nowadays. But
I'll say this. I think I told you before, but I was literally just in the same funk. I mean, like starting with the streaming and everything, like I let the expectations hit me really quick, as most people do. You don't see the numbers go. You know, you don't see your peers or your family like really, supporting you like you expected them to. So you're just like, why am I doing it? Because you like doing it.
basically,
If it's something you like doing, then continue to do it. You have to remove the mindset of a game and just do it. Because if you know that someone likes it, you're always giving it to someone. That someone's always going to accept it.
If one person likes it, 10 people in the world, 10 other people in the world will too.
Yeah.
For real.
And so you add a 0 to that every time. So if you gain 10 people who like it, that's 100 people who will also like it in the world.
I feel that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
But I gotta hurry away. I'm gonna show y'all what I did. Oh yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Awesome.
It's a busted clock. Kind of faint, but there's a MCU style timeline back there with things just going haywire. But
Oh yeah, I see.
that's kind of how I not necessarily feel, but I mean about the world, not me personally. Just everything that we knew or known kind of being questioned. It's weird to think about it that way, but time is one of those main things. What are you doing with your time? We're definitely not taking work as seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, we're not really showing that we're taking parenthood that seriously or marriage for that reason. So, the clock is busted. That's kind of what
I love it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I got this one actually done faster. I think we had a little bit less time than last week or last segment, but I'm actually improving on my speed. I can tell it.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting it and letting it flow. So that's once again, man. You're serving up some justice for your boy, man. I appreciate it.
It's a twofer.
Yeah.
What you do for me is what I do for you.
Man, let's reciprocate, man.
Well, that's the time that we have. He's gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thanks for all who's viewing. I'll have this finished soon. But yeah, you want to do this in 2 weeks?
Sure. As long as there ain't nothing going on, just
See what we got. We will.
6.
Oh, birthday.
Oh, no, not this next week. Not this next segment. Just let me know, Mr. Virgo. Wait, what you doing for your birthday?
I don't know, cause she's working that night.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, cause we were gonna do a trip, but since we're moving earlier than we expected, we're gonna cancel that. So
I understand.
I'll keep in touch with you. Yeah, we'll keep everyone tuned in on when we will revisit the next episode. But yeah, we will indefinitely. But until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. All the socials are in this. You can follow us and find us at.
Do that.
Again.
Do that.
At brother_Gresh. See you guys. See ya.
Appreciate it.